How's it going, my aristocrats? I hope you're all doing well today. I I have a little bit of like an unusual topic to talk about today as well, like something that like a lot of people don't talk about because like when you look at like self improvement YouTubers and everything, most of them talk about like oh fitness or like this is how you get the girl, like three steps to get the girl, three cues that three social cues you have to. Well, we're not going to talk about that right now, and we're not really going to talk about that stuff on this channel either, because your self improvement journey. I mean, like first of all, like before you go get the girls and everything, like before you go conquer like whatever you want to conquer in the world, like your goals and everything, you have to conquer yourself first. And all of that advice is useless if you don't conquer yourself. So, anyways, on to the topic of today's video. Today, we're gonna talk a little bit about breathing. So, breathing. You'll see some other YouTubers talk about this as well. Like I think Hamza's like made a video on it or something. But breathing, it's so important. It's so important for you. And you'll notice like when you're in public, like let's say you're in like a cafe or like a restaurant or something, and like you start taking like deep breaths and everything, you start to feel like more relaxed. And when you start to feel more relaxed, people start to like gaze at you. They start to like look at you and be and like feel that energy. Because like when you're more relaxed, when you're more relaxed as a person, it's almost as if you give off that energy, and other people around you are like able to feel it. It's like it's like such a weird feeling though, because like I've done it before too. I've done it like in public and everything, and like people will start like looking at me or something, and like it's not because I'm doing it like loud or anything. Like it's just because like when you breathe, or like when I breathe at least, like I'm not very loud. Like I breathe, like I try to breathe at least quietly. Like I'll give you guys an example. Like that's like a little bit of like how I normally do it, but like I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Like how I do it and like the benefits of it. So like let's say that you're in like a tense situation, or like you have a lot of stress in your life right now or anything like that, and you start like taking some deep breaths and everything. I 100% promise you that it's going to take a load off of you. Let's say even on NoFap, like if you're having thoughts about relapsing, if you're having thoughts about relapsing or anything like that, and like you're having like all these like sexual thoughts and all that, like all these like thoughts are just like hitting you, and like you feel that cloud in like the front of your brain, like your prefrontal cortex. You'll feel like that cloud, that cloud when you get horny and everything. But like when you start taking deep breaths, and everything like that, like I 100% promise you that it will help. And I actually, now that I recall, I talked about this in a previous video of mine as well. I believe I talked about this in the one about like prayer and meditation or whatnot, because like I was talking about like breath meditation and all that, and like just focusing on your breathing. But like when you breathe, you really calm yourself down, like you really come back to your senses. It's something that just like really brings you back to your senses, and it makes you appear more present to others as well. And like I've spoken to a lot of people who have like kind of verified this as well. It's like a little bit about me. Like when I was a kid, I was I still am very interested in like aviation and aviation history and all that kind of stuff. And so like when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, like I would spend hours in the aviation museum and all that stuff. But like a lot of the people that worked in the aviation museum, they were veterans. A lot of these guys were former fighter pilots. And one time, I remember I'd ask them how do they stay calm when they're in a tense situation, because I believe one of them was he served in the Korean War as an F-86 Sabre pilot, and he was telling me that when you're up there and like you're in a tense situation and everything, like it's the most, or one of the most key things to do is to breathe. You have to breathe. You have to breathe in a certain way too. Like when you feel your stomach like right here, you you want to suck your stomach in. Like when you take that deep breath in, you want to suck your stomach in like this. You should feel it like sucking in. And when you push out, you push your stomach out too. Just like that. And I mean, if you're doing it for like, and I'm not even talking about doing it for like meditation purposes here or whatnot, but like just like the way that you normally breathe, because you should be taking belly breaths throughout your entire day, not just like when you meditate or whatnot. Like when you meditate, you do like the longer ones, but throughout the rest of your day, you should at least be taking like some like shorter belly breaths, like maybe like 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out or whatnot. But like it's pretty essential to incorporate that into the way that you breathe. It's like, especially like as I said, like when I was talking to these fighter pilots, when I was talking to these fighter pilots about their experiences, it's how these guys were able to remain calm, even in the most tense of situations. And like especially back in like the Korean War or whatnot, like it was a very intense air battle. There were very intense air battles that occurred during that war, and I couldn't imagine the stress that these pilots were under, and the fact that they made it home alive is certainly a testament as well. But I believe that a part of the reason as to why they made it home alive is because of their ability to have calmed themselves and to think soundly, to have sound judgment. And in order to have sound judgment, you have to breathe. You have to be able to calm yourself down. And even aside from the fighter pilots, there's other people like Wim Hof, who you may know him as the Iceman. He does like all these cold water challenges and like all these like cold in general challenges. Like you'll see him like running around in his underwear in like Antarctica or something. But like even he has like a certain method for like breathing and everything. And a big part of the reason as to why he has this method is because he believes that like the certain way that you breathe can actually help you to resist the cold. He believes that breathing is essential for cold resistance. And there's people who breathe to heal themselves of physical or mental trauma or wounds. There are people like Wim Hof who do it to resist certain temperatures, like especially like in his case. I saw like a video of him a while back. He was like in the Arctic Circle in like a bathing suit and literally like nothing else. And he was like surrounded by all these glaciers and very cold, like freezing waters and everything. And he dove into the freezing water. This guy is insane. This guy is insane. But he's able to do it. And a big part of the reason as to why he's able to do it is because he breathes. Is because he has a certain way of breathing. And then of course, as I mentioned earlier, like these fighter pilots who came home from war and who came home from a very bloody war, a war in which the air battles were very, very bloody and very hotly contested. They had to keep themselves calm. And out of all the fighter pilots that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to quite a few of them, they've all said that. They've all mentioned something about staying calm. That being said, I'm gonna end the video here. I think I've like hit the point home a little bit too much, but yeah. Once again, guys, remember, you've got to breathe deep belly breaths in and out, especially when you're meditating. But even when you're not meditating, even when you're like going about your day, be sure to take those belly breaths. Be sure to take those deep breaths and to breathe like a king. Keep yourself calm in all situations and everything of that sort. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, so peace out for now.